Well, it's me again, and this is my podcast and my world, where I take you along on an adventure where we get to explore everything and anything that goes on in my mind. Oh boy, is it random, is it crazy, it's nuts, it's all over the place. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's have a good time. Oh, wow. This time is just flying by. Yeah, I can't believe I'm already, at 21. Welcome, my friends. It's me, Graham, and this is my world. And I just want to say welcome to my channel. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. Please come in, have a seat, and enjoy the space. There's lots of it up here in my head. There's a lot of cobwebs too, and there's a dark corner over there I want everyone to kind of stay away from. I do have a really bad spider problem over there in the corner, so come closer to the fire and let's gather around and have us one heck of an exploratory thought process with me, your host, Graham. Ooh, that's one to talk about right there. What is it with the Americans? We speak and we don't follow our rules. Just real quick. I don't want to throw everybody off here, but just real quick. Seriously, when two vowels are separated by a consonant, it makes the first one say its name. Is that the one rule that we really forget? I mean, we never forget. Oh yeah, when you have an E at the end, it makes, we never forget that. But we always forget when two vowels are separated by a consonant. What is so difficult about remembering that? My name. It's not Graham, it's Graham. Okay, off with that. Boo, we're gone. Okay, now that everyone knows how to say my name. Say my name. Here on this show, it is strange, weird, and I go off on tangents, and I talk about things that most people would never even dream of talking about in public. I'm sure I'm going to get criticized for a lot of my content, and I'm sure I'm going to get just totally trashed and belittled, and people are going to try to tell me I'm an idiot, or I'm racist, or I'm sexist, or I'm a jerk, or I'm this or that. Go for it. I don't care. Look, I'm 37 years old, and I just don't care anymore. And, I think that's part of becoming an adult, where you really just don't care what people think. But I hope I impress. I hope y'all stick around. I guess y'all are. I'm watching my views recently, and I am completely blown away that people are listening to me and my stinking weird little opinion on the world and how I view things. And I am honored that y'all are supporting me and my controversial that. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate the love and the listening to me rant and rave and go on and on about my opinions and my life and what I've experienced. With that being said, I guess it's time to get into it. So, let's do it. Oh, darn it. Don't you just love that? I sit there and I talk for I think I was going for about 35 minutes there, and all of a sudden I received a phone call, and pow, I lost everything I was recording, all of it, every single dime, penny, whatever. Oh, this is so freaking, this is going to be the second time I do this episode. It is, it's pretty frustrating, but I will get over it. It's not the first time I've had to do it. I just hope I don't get any more phone calls. Okay, so I am not going to make this as nice, apparently, as the first time. The first time was so eloquent and wonderful. I'm going to butcher this topic. I already know I am, so I'm just going to do it. Crap. I did it so well. I don't want to do it again. This is a very controversial topic. I'm going to talk about transgender and the transgender community. And how this is my opinion. This is only my opinion. I am a white male. I'm a cis male. I identify as straight. I have a couple of friends of mine that identify as trans, and I have been picking their brain like crazy the last couple of years, trying to comprehend what is going on. And this is, with watching what's going on, social media and just wherever, the liberal media, it's kind of frustrating. I've noticed that the, I don't even know what all the letters are, LGBTQ, RSPCT, whatever. I have learned that the gay and lesbian community, they have kind of put their arms out and given the trans community a big hug and welcomed them into their community, kinda. On paper. Couple of big things that I find incredibly frustrating. Gays and lesbians, for the most part, they identify a lot like each other. Men like men, women like women. There's no real mess up, if you will, there. It's not anything like the trans people, the trans community, a transsexual. It's so messed up. I strongly don't believe that the trans community should be part of the gay and lesbian community. I think they are a thing of their own. The population, we're led to believe the population of transsexuals in this country is just as vibrant and just as large as the gay community, and that's not the case whatsoever. It's like 1% of our entire population, and if not even less than that. And so there's not much of a voice. You have a few people, that speak out for that community, but not a lot. And I think they get overrun a lot by the liberals and the progressives and the Democrats. I think they overrun a lot of the community and push people where they think they belong. Yeah, the truth is, we are, as a people, we are very, very, very diverse. Very diverse. Every one of us, even the straight community, is extremely diverse. The grayscale is it's so big. I mean, you have your absolute straights, but then you have bisexuals in there, and a huge portion, I believe, are either a minute little bit bi or they're a lot bi. I mean, I know a lot of guys, me included, when I watch pornography, every now and again I like watching porn with two girls. I think it's kind of cool. And, you know, when it comes to watching porn, I'm a straight guy. But if you're going to watch porn, the best porn is, in my opinion, straight porn. There's a guy in there. There's a guy having sex with a girl. That, even though I'm straight, I personally prefer watching a man do a woman if I'm going to watch porn. Seriously. That makes me just a little teeny weeny bit bi, probably. Either that or I just get to imagine myself doing her and I use his body as the tool to do it. Either way, it's all gray. There's so much gray. There's no black and white to nothing. There's no, you're on this side or that side of the fence. It doesn't work that way. Sexuality doesn't work that way. It is so incredibly diverse. So for gays and lesbians and straights and bisexuals, they all kind of fit in this thing where they can kind of have a little bit of understanding with each other. You know, you have the straight, normal cis right down the middle, dead center, okay? Which is kind of ridiculous. But then you have bisexual on one side leading into gay. And then on the other side, you have bisexual leading into lesbian. Okay? It is of itself, it is just one massive gray scale. It goes both directions. But transgender doesn't fit on that scale at all. They're not gay. They're not straight. They are of their own product. They are completely separate. And so I strongly feel that the trans community is being railroaded by the liberals and the progressives to get an election or whatever, to make them victims, whatever you want to call it, okay? Whatever you want, however. But they're being shoved into this box that they don't fit in. And it drives me crazy. Yes, I like the fact that they're getting the attention that they need, so maybe there's some medical help or something down the road. But they're not, in my opinion, they're not in that box. They need to be treated with a different type of respect. I love and I will do anything I can for that community. I have nothing but respect for them. Same with the gays and the lesbians and the bisexuals, and I have nothing but love for that community, those communities. I am a straight male. I'm white and I'm straight, but that doesn't mean that I haven't experienced the horrific childhood that some of these people have experienced. And if you have not experienced it, find yourself to be extraordinarily lucky. I grew up in a time, now times have changed, okay? It is almost to the point right now where being gay or bisexual is cool. In middle school, high school, it's almost the thing. It's almost cool to be that, okay? But when I was a child, it was far from cool. I had the privilege of being able to expand my horizons as a child because my father is an extremely flamboyant gay man. And as a child, I didn't see him any different than anybody else, especially when I was about 7, 8, 9 years old. I thought he was just a man. And subconsciously, every boy and girl go through a point in their life where they have to try to figure out where they fit and who they are and what part of the world they belong in. And I had the opportunity in my life, either positive or negative, it doesn't really matter, to mimic my dad's body language subconsciously. I was extremely flamboyant as a young child. And gay bashing was definitely something that I encountered on a daily basis. And it was extreme. My school teachers in elementary school sent me home from class, would send me home 30 minutes early every single day so that I could run home before these mean, vicious children would catch up to me and beat me up because I was different. I didn't know why they were doing it. I didn't understand it. And of course, with our society the way it is, teachers aren't and weren't allowed to say, the problem, I can tell you what it is. You're acting gay. You're acting very flamboyant. They weren't allowed to do that. So the abuse just kept going because I didn't understand. I didn't understand why they were doing it. Why were they picking on me? I was just a normal little boy. Why were they picking on me? I didn't understand it. And so they would try to see how big of a bump on my head they could make by throwing rocks or acorns at me. There was one time I was tied to a telephone pole and I had a slurry of dog crap and little boy pee dumped over my head. There were times where I literally had to run for my life. I remember one Halloween, I don't remember how old I was. It was in in elementary school. I was on my way home after school because we had a Halloween party that day, and I was on my way home and I thought I was ahead of the game, and here comes a kid with a huge rock, and he picked it up and he chucked it at my head and almost killed me. I've had in middle school where some guy, I didn't even know who he was, knew my name, come running up to me, put his arm around me, and the next thing I knew, his fist was in my face, and I had to go to the hospital for a busted lip. So I know what it's like for that. I've lived that firsthand. Okay? So that's where I'm coming from. As far as being a transsexual, I have no idea other than what I've observed from my friends and the community and the internet. I can only imagine the turmoil, the depression, the confusion, the feeling like your body isn't really yours, or it doesn't belong to you, or it's wrong. I can only imagine. I can only imagine laying in bed at night and touching yourself, thinking this is not the way it's supposed to be. I can only imagine. And I can tell you what I'm imagining sucks so bad. And I sympathize as much as a straight man can. And I am so incredibly sorry that you have to go through that. But know that there is a lot of us people out here that want to do nothing more than be supportive and loving. Now, the topic of bathrooms really gets on my nerves. For a very, very long time, it's never been an issue. If you feel like you identify as a female, you use the female's bathroom. If you feel like you identify as a male, you use the male's bathroom. It's never really been an issue. Never. If you look like a guy, you go in the guy's bathroom. Look like a girl, you go in. That's all it's ever been. It's never been an issue until the liberals, the progressives, the Democrats, whatever the hell you want to call this out of control psychotic group of people. Yeah, I went there. Whatever you want to call them. They're the ones who made this an issue, and it's not an issue. It is a total non-issue. It is ridiculous. Every person I have spoken to that is trans, they all say the same thing. It is not a big deal. There is no issue here. We never had a problem with it. So, that's it. I think it's wrong. I think it needs to go back to the way it was. It needs to stay the way it was. And all these straight, insecure people are so afraid of someone coming into the bathroom and checking out or taking pictures of their little girl. Well, you know what? That's called pedophilia. Okay? That's called an aggressive behavior. And that is what needs to be fucking taken care of. Not the issue of the transsexual going into the bathroom, but the idiot that is being nasty and disgusting. He's the one who, or she is the one that needs to be taken care of. That's the problem. That's the issue. If someone is going to do that, they personally need to be called out on it. I don't think any laws need to be passed. I don't think any special rights need to be passed. If you feel more comfortable going to that bathroom, then go to that bathroom. Nobody's ever stopped you before. No one's ever bothered you. No, it's never been an issue. And then we have a thing nowadays. Okay? We have what's called family bathrooms. If it is a real issue where someone is really in the middle of transitioning and they think it might be awkward, most places like malls and stuff have a family bathroom, a special bathroom. But in my personal opinion, I think the fact that there's a man's and a woman's bathroom is kind of ridiculous. I think we make more of a big deal about sex and gender and make it out to be this secretive thing way more than we should in our society. But that's my personal opinion. I'm sorry. I don't think that a woman's breasts should be made into this secretive private part. I just don't. The breasts are not a private part, in my personal opinion. If men are allowed to walk around outside in the summertime with bare breasts because they choose to, and nothing happens, I think women should have the right to make the decision on their own as well, without it being against the law. If a woman feels that she wants to bare her chest, then so be it. See, the things that are on her body, if you believe in God, which I'm atheist, but whatever, if you believe that in God or not, or whatever, they were designed as a way to feed a child. Okay? We're making them out to be this sexual thing. The only reason why we have this issue with boobs in our society is because we make them that way. We hide them. Oh, I don't want you to see me naked. Get over yourself. It isn't anything. There's nothing there that isn't, I'm sorry. Disagree with me all day long. Boobs are not a private part. Boobs are a way for you to feed a child if you so choose to bear a child. It's not it's something that shouldn't be hidden, in my opinion. It shouldn't be this vogue or vogue thing. It shouldn't be this secretive thing. It shouldn't be this hush hush, nobody sees it thing. We make such a big deal about it. And you want to go down that track? I'll go down that track with you for a second. Why do women's underwear cover up more of their body than swimsuits? Come on. So you see some nipple. Big deal. I don't see the point, but whatever. Moving on. Back to the topic at hand. Transsexual community. I have nothing but love for everybody in this community. It is not easy to live in this world and have to deal with that as well, especially something that the whole world sees. You know, your image, the first thing they see is you, and they judge you by the way you look or walk or talk or the color of your skin. Our society is so weird, so messed up in so many ways. Just because we have a woman standing in front of us that's extremely flamboyant or extremely masculine, they immediately judge, oh, you're ugly, or oh, you're this, or oh, you're that. That's not, it just drives me nuts. So covered the bathroom issue. The other thing I want to talk about is children and giving them medication and drugs to keep them from going into puberty. I personally think it is a sin. It is a crime. We are damaging these children more than we're helping them, in my opinion. And the reason I say this is because I have a friend of mine. She is now 16. She was born a boy, and her parents put her on these medications to keep her from growing testicles and becoming a man. At the time, they thought it was right to keep her in a child-shaped body and to give her hormones to turn her into a girl instead of a boy. The problem with that is that her male genitalia never got bigger. It never developed. It never became large like a man's. And because of that, now the repercussion of it is her penis isn't large enough to turn inside out, basically. I mean, there's more to it than that, but to turn inside out and become a vagina. So my good friend, she will never, unless science somehow magically changes, she will never have a functioning vagina. She'll never be able to appreciate real penetration from her partner if she ever ends up in a relationship like that. But I'm not sure if, I mean, I've been talking with her a lot recently, but I'm not sure if she's even straight or not. I have a feeling that she's bisexual, so But either way, it doesn't matter. I think it's a crime. I think we should not be doing that, because, I mean, yes, you're going to get male features. You're going to end up with a broader face. You're going to have the voice change. I understand that we're trying to stop those things from happening with doing that. But the genitals need to grow in order to be able to convert them into the opposite sex. Female genitals, not so much of an issue, but if you're born a female, you're on a different path anyways, and it's a little different. But if you're born a male and you identify as a female, that's where it really does damage, because it is something that is very much out in the open. So it's kind of where it's at. That's how I feel. It's my opinion. That's what this podcast and this thing is all about, is my opinion, my world, my views, my whatever. And you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to come anywhere close to agreeing with me. That's what's so great about this world, is we can all have our own opinions and our own feelings and our own thoughts and our own, everything. So just remember that I love you all very, very much. I want to thank you for sitting with me through this podcast. I just felt like I needed to get that out there. And the first time I did this, it was so much more eloquent and so much better. But I think I covered all of my topics that I wanted to touch on. So I'm going to probably just go ahead and end my podcast here. I know that the time is a lot different than what it has been, but I felt this needed a little extra bit of time to cover a few other things. If you have any questions or comments or anything for me, if there's any type of, or any other podcast or thing that you want me to talk about or what have you, I'll give you my opinion. I have no problem doing that. I am an open book. So use that comment section down below. Feel free to share my videos, and of course, thumbs up if you like what you hear. If anything you heard today you think could help somebody, please share this podcast. Please. So, I will do a separate podcast later down the road, I think, on gay bashing and violence and tolerance and all that kind of stuff. But I said what I said today just to give you a reference of where I'm coming from. So, okay, until next time, I love you all so very much, and I want you all to have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. There's always tomorrow, so keep your chin up, and until then, bye for now.
This has been a Graham's World broadcast, brought to you directly from Graham's mind. So stay tuned, because there's more to come.